G'day, welcome back. So today we are going to get this Bigwig chassis on its wheels. Um, Obviously we won't be painting the body in this video. That'll be a separate video, and that'll actually probably be the last video in the build series. So we assembled all of our shocks off camera, and they turned out feeling very nice, as they usually do. So we're going to put a link to one of our other videos where we actually explained into a bit of detail how to build CVA shocks. So if you want to go and watch that, go ahead and watch that. That'll be really cool. So let's get these shocks mounted. So we're starting with the rears. We have our 3x20 screw. Yep, that's one. And they are just a 3mm washer, a spacer tube and a nut. A washer, spacer tube. Now the shock actually goes over the tube thusly, and it's actually a nylock nut, so don't get that mixed up. And then we can nip up the whole thing. Once it stops, it stops. That's all you need. And for the bottom, again, we're just going to turn the connector on the side a little bit, and just clip them on with our long nose pliers, and that does feel really nice actually. All that yellow with the black and the blue. Yeah, it looks great. Okay, same with the other side. You actually see what I'm doing here. Screw in from the rear. Washer, spacer, baker, candlestick maker, nylock nut. Again, just up until it stops. That's where it wants to be. And your connector on a bit of an angle. You can kind of see that. Bit of an angle. Didn't really snap on, did it? Better not say that too much. You get sued. It didn't snap on like the other one. I'm wondering if these ends only go one way. We'll try it the other way. And of course it has to make everything look so awkward. It's really not this hard. That one on a lot better. It still didn't click on like the other one. Okay, we'll leave it at that. So front shocks. Same again. 3x15 screws this time. And they actually go through the shock body first. And then 3 more washer through the top mount, and because the nut is screwing up to plastic, they are using just a standard M3 flange nut. You don't need a nylock nut on that, because it will lock itself into the plastic. Simple as that. Another 3x15, spacer tube and a shock. Washer through the mount. Everything's just so much harder on camera, isn't it? The nut just doesn't want to go on straight. There we go. So sometimes, yeah, it can be a little bit fiddly to get your hands, your fingers into places like that. But with the nuts, I find that if you can get purchased just on the end of the nut and hold the screw with the screwdriver, just a little bit of pressure on it. If you back thread the screw just a little bit, it tends to find the start of the thread and straighten the nut up, and then you can wind the screw in. Really saves you a lot of trouble with cross-threading screws and nuts, especially if you don't have a lot of spares of these things. So for the bottom, we need the screw pin and another crush tube, spacer tube, call it what you will. this looks like it's actually a bit of a press fit in there, which is nice. If I can actually get it lined up. So yeah, that's going to sit in there tight so that I don't have to worry about it falling out when I'm trying to mount everything. Now I am going to put a little bit of grease in this hole where the thread goes. Just helps things go along. Jesus, I'm talking well. I'm blaming the flu. Just helps it screw in a lot easier, especially into that hard plastic. More coffee to help my throat. I don't think coffee is the best thing for it, but anyway. So trying to slide this shock end into, there we go. And just a matter of lining everything up with that screw pin. Already, without the body on, you can tell it's a Bigwig, can't you? Just the blue shock arms, the yellow shocks facing like this way, not this way. It's really cool looking. Okay, that one was a oh, I think I know what I've done wrong. Okay, I'm going to fix this on camera, but I'll explain what I've done, what I did. See, when Zach was pulling all the parts off the trees for me, he pulled all of the parts off the trees for the shocks and dumped them into a container for me. Well, Zach isn't here today, so I just assembled everything, assuming I knew what I was doing, and all the parts were the same. So you remember this one, this shock here didn't like audibly click on, and the crush tube in this one was a tight fit. Well, the crush tube in that just wants to fall straight through. And upon inspection of the manual, this is why, you know, obviously do as I say, not as I do. Please read the manual. You have an X8 on the front shock and a T1 on the rear shock. Yeah, I just totally overlooked that. The one's actually, they're completely different shape actually. So yes, this end here has to go on the rear. So by the looks of it, I just have to swap that end with that end, and everything should be right with the world. So I'm just going to do that and come back. Okay, all fixed. We have those shock ends swapped over, and obviously shock screwed on, and again feeling very nice. There's a bit of rubbing on the spring on that shock body there, but apart from that, very smooth. So we are on to the front bumper. It's telling you to thread lock the screw. I've already applied thread lock to the nut itself. So I need my front bumper right there, and we have a 3x8 screw, a spring washer. There you go. I think that spring washer is in another bowl. Yes, it was in another container for some reason. So 3x8. 3x8 it says. Okie dokie. 3x8 spring washer. Two flat washers. Okay. I see what Zach's done here. He's put a E-clip in instead of a spring washer. That's okay. Alright, and now we get to put this bumper on and cover up that beautiful. That must be a leftover from the original Bigwig, maybe? Why would that be there, exposing that? That's interesting. Does anybody know? Chuck it in the comment. So I'm just going to leave that loose for now. And then we want two 3x12s in from the top. Stupid hairy arm in the way, sorry about that. But, I know you guys want to see what's going on, but if I can't see what's going on, then nothing's going to go on. So, just tightening up these screws, and once again I forgot to put grease in the hole. It really does help when you do it. So there's our front bumper, and also step 29 done. It tells you to connect the steering rods, but I already did that before. No reason why we couldn't do it then. So, wheels and tyres. Again, nothing really exciting here, except for the fact that in a couple of minutes our chassis will be rolling. I'm going to show you something on these wheels too. So it's probably obvious when you're cutting them off the trees here, but I think it could be easy to miss. So when they moulded the wheels with the trees, come on focus, the trees are actually moulded sort of on the inside of that ridge there, not sort of perpendicular to it. So it's a good idea to just come in and see that pit there. Good idea to just come in and knock that off, so you know your the inside of your tyre bead's going to sit like nice and straight and proper. I do like this Mooncraft in the moulded into the rims. I don't have another car, kind of these full moon type rims on them. It look like, oh, there it is. Thought I must have cut that off. Pretty good, that one. But so just remember to trim those up if you didn't cut it off nicely like I didn't. So nothing really special about mounting the tyres to these rims, not like your Grasshopper rims and Hornet and stuff like that. These just basically push straight through. You just have to pull the beads around the rim itself, and once I get to this stage, I just set the rear bead in place, and the front just pulls over like that. It is handy to have a bit of strength in your fingers when you're doing this. I'm starting to lose strength in my thumbs because they've been dislocated that many times. Okay, so I just remembered these tyres are directional. See an arrow there that says drive, that being a rear, so that'll be our rear left. So our rear right has to go that way. So the arrow's facing that way on the sidewall. If you turn it over, the arrow's facing backwards. I'm going to come in from this way this time. No, from this way. From this way. Oh geez, I don't know. Just get the wheel in the tyre. Okay, so let's get our wheels on. Just looking at my little pan of screws here that Zach's sorted out for me, and there's two 3x10 machine screws in there. I can't see where I might have missed them in the instructions. So did Zach mess up, or is he just playing with my head? Maybe he knew I'd be doing this on my own today. He said, oh, I'll get you, old fella. Alright. There's our drive pin going in the drive hub. These can be tricky. I've found them to be tricky sometimes. If the drive hub comes away from that drive pin, it's impossible to get that nut off. I'll just get this manual out of the way in case I damage it at all. As you guys know, we do like our manuals. We like to keep them nice and tidy and clean. It does feel a little notchy, but I think the boomerang did as well. I hope the boomerang did. Because can't see anywhere where I might have gotten something wrong. But maybe after a quick run out on the grass, it'll free up a bit. Okay, I think Zach might have just thrown all the rest of the screw bag in the one box and like in the one sorting tray. That does sound, what is it? I don't know, are they supposed to sound like that? Not very free running either for all ball bearings. Maybe it's just the nature of the gearbox itself. If you guys know that there's something that I've done wrong, then by all means let me know and I shall fix it. There is our, let me bring you out a bit. There is our Bigwig chassis completed, and look at that. Oh, beautiful. Suspension does seem a little soft. It could do with a few more spaces, I think. So the obvious blue and yellow highlights, the engine, the exhaust and these wheels, really makes it unmistakable. I know what I've forgotten. I was meant to go back, tighten up this bumper screw. I might even treat everybody here and roughly trim the body out and sit it on just to close this video out. So there's the body, very, very roughly trimmed out. It won't sit down or forward as it should because I haven't trimmed out for the shock towers or anything, but how about that? You can kind of see put that on, it makes it even better. There you go. Now that makes it a Bigwig, doesn't it? Okay, there you go, guys. Obviously we're going to paint the body in a different video, or in the next video actually. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Feels notchy, but I think that's the motor. It doesn't feel bad. Yes, again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. It's going to look especially good when it's painted up with those plug leads on the motor in there. You might be able to see it a bit from the back, sort of. Thanks for your support. Have a great day. See you on the next video.